This is Stacy Millette, Executive Director of the North Carolina Center for Health and Wellness, anchored here at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. I am thrilled to welcome you to the live stream of the keynote address for the National Physical Education Institute. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Hey, you guys have as much energy as we had the very first day. So this is day 3 for the 2015 National PE Institute, held in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, on the campus of the University of North Carolina, Asheville. And we are so pleased that we made it through 3 days. Is Mark Manross here? I don't know if I've seen him here. He left. I really wanted to give a shout out to Mark. Mark Manross is the person behind PE Central. And for the past 20 years, he's dedicated himself to making PE Central the premier site for physical education. Let's give him a big round of applause, please. In a little while, I'm going to ask folks involved in the back, the background, people on our staff, people on the North Carolina Center for Health and Wellness staff, the North Carolina Center for Health and Wellness Fellows for this year and last year, and anyone associated with making this happen, to stand up and take a bow. So would you please do that now? If you were involved in the planning or doing anything, name tags, would you please stand up? Everyone stand up. And turn and face the crowd. Turn and face the crowd. Give them a big round of applause. We would also like to thank those camera crew folks like Logan and Adam. Adam's up there. Adam. Everett, Aaron, Nick, I think Nick might be in the sound room. Meredith, she might also be at the sound room. And Diane Buzzini, who is like the head honcho for all this stuff. So we'd like to thank all of them. So big round of applause for them. Would also like to thank the wonderful, wonderful folks at Flag House. Chip Candy, John Smith, they're up there, way up there. We were sharing last night that they do such a tremendous job in socials, doing the social, doing the line dances, doing the social dances, doing the minute to win it. And they're just very, very dedicated to y'all. They want you to have the best possible experience because they're former physical education teachers. And they know what it feels like to be in the trenches and maybe not getting the recognition that you deserve. So that's been a good relationship. I also like to thank Dr. Kim Ballard with Spark. And so big round of applause for Spark and Kim Ballard. Along with the excellent staff at U.S. Games for all the work that they've done. If any of you happened to be funded by this nonprofit called Donors Choose to come here, would you please stand up? Would you please stand up? These are people that took the initiative to register on Donors Choose, and they were funded. They were funded hundreds and thousands of dollars through Donors Choose to attend. I really wish more of us would take Donors Choose up on the opportunity, because this is a foundation that recognizes that educators will not get any better unless they're provided with strong staff development and additional support. And we're very fortunate, those of us living in the United States, to have Donors Choose as a partner. So thank you for those folks that applied and were funded. I'm just thinking a little bit. Give me some time, I'm just thinking. Alex and Ron, I think I'm supposed to give it to y'all, right? No, I was going to let Mark, but Mark's not here. So I'd like to bring up Ron Mom and Alex O'Brien from Focus Fitness, and I'm going to turn over the mic.
I just wanted to thank you guys. Thank Artie first and foremost, because he's definitely a mover and a shaker, and everybody here recognizes that. He's done a wonderful job of bringing in just amazing presenters, and most importantly, all of you teachers that are willing to come out here and share. And I attend a lot of conferences, and I just have to say that this is the most communal community you will ever see. People sharing regardless of what role we play in quality physical education. If we're no longer in the class but we're standing behind a booth, you guys, you look at us as the same, and it's really appreciative from a vendor standpoint, and I hope it's appreciated from a teacher standpoint, that we're all on the same page. So thanks for that. And one last thing, pretty much everybody knows Alex. You can't not know Alex, and that's a good thing. He's the guy that feels comfortable in front of the camera. I certainly don't. I'd rather be on the floor with 30 kids. But that being said, I just want you guys to know how appreciative I am of him, because he's been busting his back for about the last couple weeks just to make certain this would come off. And it doesn't probably look that way sometimes in terms of it's easy, but it's certainly not easy what he's been doing standing behind the booth. So if you wouldn't mind just giving him a little love, that's enough. He doesn't need too much. I got to go back to Spokane with him. We don't want him to be too big.
How about Ron, huh? Give him a little bit of love. Already, everybody that played any role whatsoever in getting this thing going, I mean, it's first class. I'm not going to get emotional, but if I were to get emotional, I would tell you about how incredible each and every single one of you are, and anybody watching. You have an experience to change a life. You have an experience to make people like you want to live happy, healthy, active lives. And it's pretty cool stuff. If you didn't get in front of the camera with me today or any other time, we'll find another opportunity. But for those of you who did, made my experience absolutely incredible. Thank you, Matt. It really did. So without further ado, there's going to be a border on it because technology. But thank you very much. Let's give Artie a little bit more love.
Institute 2015. From wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. With Focus Fitness, I'm Alex O'Brien. The final question of the conference is going to be, how do you use technology to purposefully improve your instruction? Let's go straight to the experts for the answer.
I use YouTube videos a lot. It allows kids to practice their skills inside and outside of PE class and watch at home or whenever they have a chance to go on.
I love technology because the kids are motivated easily by it, but I use it to help them self-monitor what they're doing and use different apps to help them to just get more excited about learning. Is it recording right now?
Yeah, well,
Naomi, technology is things like iPads, apps.
I use technology in the gym to project the literature enhanced physical education books that I've developed. I project the books on screen, I read them to the children, and then I also use technology for assessment. So I use clickers to assess the children in 30 seconds so that it doesn't take away from phys ed time.
I use technology to assist children to assess themselves, particularly using videotaping, to allow them to view themselves and to see what they feel they've done right, and if I need to personalize the instruction to show them specifically what they're doing wrong so they have better correction and better feedback.
I teach with iPods, so we use Coach's Eye, we use a lot of fitness apps, I use clickers, QR codes, a lot of driver's ed apps. We do a lot of video analysis with technology. The kids love it, love technology. So I'm going to use some stuff I've learned here. Pretty excited about that. So.
And I teach at the elementary level, and of course we use as much technology as we can get as well. Primarily heart rate monitors and pedometers, but we've used digital cameras, we've used iPods, and a variety of things, and it just excites the kids and it makes them see what the results are.
Tyler, why do you like to stay healthy?
Because so you won't have to miss PE, and so you could play games and you could go outside.
The use of technology in physical education pedagogy. I teach at the college level at Kent State University, and it's really important to share technology with our student teachers and our pre-service teachers so that they know how to be innovative in the classroom. Technology should never take away from activity time. It should supplement it and it should enhance it, and that's the focus when we use it in physical education.
I use technology to connect with people around the world, and I also use technology to outsource experts into the gym for the kids with iPads.
I use technology to help my students solve problems and also help them to become more independent and help them work towards working on their lesson objectives.
Yeah, I love using technology to help my students create, collaborate, and work on projects that they could never do without it, and then they can share it with the rest of the world. We can share it with parents and keep everyone involved.
All right, I use technology to give my kids the opportunity to learn outside the classroom because technology is everywhere, and I'm not the expert.
I use technology to streamline the assessment process in my class and to give my students a unique way to share their ideas.
So how do I use technology? I use technology to help my students enhance their learning, allowing my students that maybe aren't challenged as much to be able to go to an area and challenge their learning further. So using QR codes to extend their learning, so it frees me up as a teacher to work with my students that need a little bit more support.
Technology in the classroom, I use videos, I use Coach's Eye, I use heart rate monitors, pictures, music, all kinds of great stuff. Thanks for having me.
We use heart rate monitors quite often because we want to teach the kids intensity. We want them to understand what it feels like to exercise at a higher intensity, mid, low, but more than anything, just to be able to be accountable as a teacher too, to make sure our kids understand we're teaching them it's safe and they understand, what it means to work hard.
What's the question, Alex?
Technology for instruction.
I'd like to talk about that, but first I'd like to compliment you, Alex, on the fine job you've done for this institute, and I thank you. You've made a lot of friends, and that's about all I can say about that.
Love Coach's Eye. Love your hair too. It's awesome. I love being able to show the kids what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and you can show the angles, incorporate math and other things, and it's awesome to show them that stuff.
I use technology to make feedback loops more efficient, to differentiate instruction and give students more varied opportunities within large class sizes.
Technology to improve instruction, obviously good to see technology as a tool to help you to have your kids be able to do things that previously they couldn't do. So I use technology in 4 ways. I talked about it in one of my sessions earlier: to create content, to collect content, to celebrate content, and to connect with other schools worldwide. So I love it. So everyone out there, I want you to give me 1 clap. Give me 2 claps. Give me 2 claps and Ric Flair.
Woo! So I use technology to help create learning experiences for my students that weren't previously possible, but also I use it to try and collect as much evidence on their learning so I can be the best teacher I can be for them.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's how you purposefully use technology to improve your instruction. Let's turn it over to Artie. Back to you, bud.
cool again. Wonderful. Mac, the question was, how do you use technology? That was the question. Before I introduce our next speaker, I'd like to have the folks with Team Phys Pedagogy please stand up. If y'all would please stand up, right down here. For the past several years, under really the leadership of Adam Howell, and he has a shared leadership style. Under the leadership of Adam Howell, they have been able to put together phenomenal free professional development opportunities. And people, we've been talking about Phys Ed Summit 3.0. Please, please take advantage of this unique 24-hour global free professional development. It's all come about through their vision and knowledge. Is Bill Bodie here as well? Okay, and Bill. Stand up, Bill. Stand up, Bill. I mean, Bill is a high school physical education teacher in North Carolina, and they've been collaborating. And they share, and if, come on. And those of you on Voxer, please stand up. If you're a Voxer, please stand up. Just want to see. Want to give a shout out to all of you on Voxer. Woohoo! Yes. So thank you guys. Nick, Justin, thank you very much. Anyway, I just want to give them a hand. Okay, just give them a hand because they're really stepping up. They're stepping up in a new way. They're trying to remove all the barriers. So thank you all very much for doing our first ever Phys Ed camp. So thank you. Joey Feith, are you nervous? Okay. I'm shaking. I'm overcome. Joey Feith, would you please come up and we'll start. Joey will be the closing keynoter. This is Joey's third appearance to the National PE Institute, and he's the only one that has a standing offer to present every year. As long as Joey is able, he will be a keynoter here. The guy is phenomenal. He's just phenomenal. So I'm going to turn my mic off.
Now can you hear me? All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? All right. My name is Joey Feith, and I am from Canada, if you didn't know that already. Yeah, let's give it up for Canada. I'm technically French-Canadian, so I too speak a little funny. I was talking with Nathan about that. Je pourrais vous donner la présentation en français si vous voulez, but I think I'll stick to English for the rest of the presentation. If ever you want to go to Canada, it's really simple. It's a beautiful place to visit. Just keep walking in that direction until you start freezing, and you'll know you're home. Up in Canada, I work at an incredible school called St. George's School of Montreal. And 2 years ago, I was up on the stage, and I was meeting all these people, and people are like, oh, where do you teach? And I remember I was telling them, well, I don't actually have a job right now. I was being bounced around schools, and I was waiting. I had to wait until late August to find out if I even had a teaching position. Remember, Mac? If I had a teaching position come the fall. And last year was my first year at St. George's School. And I just want to say I'm so excited because I just signed a full-time contract, and it's a permanent contract. So that's going to be my home base for the rest of my career. I'd like you to meet some of the amazing young people that I get to work with. These are people that just bring out the best in me and make my job so incredibly easy. And when I was putting together this video here and I was thinking about it, there's something I want to say, and I'm getting goose pimples like Mac would say. Those kids you just saw, and I'm saying this because there's a lot of people here in this room that mean a lot to me. People have really helped me along the way. And those kids you just saw, you'll never meet them. They don't know who you are. They wouldn't recognize you in the street. But if they knew everything that you have done for me to help me be the teacher that I am, and I'm swelling up here, I'm trying hard not to. If they knew everything you've done for me and everything you've done to help me get to them, they would smother you in hugs. I'm standing here on a stage and I get to speak to my friends, and I really feel like the people that I know from the internet, which sounds really strange, but the people I know from the internet are really my friends, and it's such an incredible honor, and I just want you all to know how incredibly grateful I am for everything that you have done for me. When I'm not teaching, I run a little website called thephysicaleducator.com. Has anybody ever been to the site? All right, that's a nice feeling. Thephysicaleducator.com is really my baby. I do all kinds of things there. Really, I blog. I try and think about my own practice. I come up with my new ideas, and I try and find new ways that I can help teachers connect and get online and really think about their professional development. I create resources, and I have them up there for free. Really, they're just resources I made for my own teaching, and I thought maybe other people would like it, and it turns out other people did like it, so I'm hopefully going to keep making resources and get as much out there as possible for all of you. PhysicalEducator.com is also the home, the source of PE Chat. Now, if you don't know what PE Chat is, it's a bi-monthly Twitter chat where we get teachers from all around the world to come together and discuss important topics in phys ed. Now, what's cool about PE Chat is that instead of it just being an hour long, it's a 24-hour long process. And the reason it can be that is because we have moderators in different time zones. And it's so crazy to think that there are several of those moderators in this room right now. So I'd like to ask Andy, Nathan, Adam Levo, Osama's not here and Ash isn't here, Adam Howe, can you guys stand up, please? Yeah. PE Chat doesn't make any money. These guys aren't paid. It happens right in the middle of dinner time, and they've been so committed to it, and they've been helping so much to create a really interesting and important conversation online, and they deserve all the applause you can give them. So guys, thank you so much. Something else I do at the site, we have a little podcast where I do this with my friend and current roommate Nathan here, who you all met earlier this week. And really the podcast is just a rambling of all kinds of things that we're doing in our lessons. And we just got the idea, you know what, maybe we should record these things and share them with the world, and people seem to like it. We're going to be recording a live one. It's our second live one, which is crazy to think. Nathan's in Singapore, I'm in Montreal. It's insane. We're going to be recording in the hotel later, and you're all invited to come if you want to join. We'd love to get a lot of your voices involved in the podcast, so come be a part of that. So that's the physicaleducator.com. Now, my work with the site, and I never would have believed this if you told me, but my work with the site has allowed me to experience just incredible experiences over the years. I've been able to travel to all different parts in the world and participate in just the best professional development opportunities any teacher could ever want to. And it's been incredible for me as a teacher to get to be there. I've been able to meet people who I truly believe, and a lot of them are in the room right now, people who I truly believe are the best physical education teachers of our generation, if not ever. And if you look around, you'll see a lot of the faces you see up here on the screen right now. Not only have I been able to meet people at these events, but more importantly, with my work on social media, I've been able to partake in incredible conversations that have really challenged my way of thinking about physical education. And most importantly, the work with the site has allowed me to be exposed to ideas and just incredible opinions that have forced me to grow as an educator, so I can continue trying to be the best teacher I can be for the students that I serve. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm not just trying to do some kind of promo here. There's two big reasons. First of all, last year when I was up here on stage and giving my keynote, I realized that about midway through the keynote, I had spent so much time on all these goofy animations that you're seeing on the screen, that I completely forgot to mention my site at any time, to the point where people would come and see me afterwards and say, hey, I can't wait to visit your site. How do you spell physedagogy? So it's an amazing website, but I have nothing to do with it. Check it out all the work they're doing, but my site's definitely not that one, physicaleducator.com. The second reason, and this is the real reason, is that I'm about to stand up here and talk to you about what I believe is the future of physical education. And that's a pretty gutsy thing for somebody with a severe lack of titles after their name to do. But I really believe that everything I've done with the physicaleducator.com, the places I've been able to visit, the conferences I've been able to attend, the people I've been able to meet, the conversations that I've been able to be a part of, and the ideas and opinions that I've been exposed to. All of these things have given me some insight as to where physical education needs to go so we can keep growing it and raising the bar for it as we move into the future. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out here because when I was putting the keynote together and I was talking to some of my friends, I was really worried I was going to come off as preachy, but I want you to know this. When I was putting this together, I was trying to think, okay, Artie's asking me to keynote the National PE Institute. I'm excited about that. What should I think about? And I was saying, okay, well, I'm a teacher. What would I want to hear? And I started putting all these cool ideas together and all this cool stuff I was seeing. And I started thinking, I have an opportunity here. And sometimes what's more important than, well, as much as it's great getting to hear what you want to hear, sometimes it's important to hear what you need to hear. So really the things I'm going to talk about in this presentation, I made this for me. This is made to challenge my own thinking, challenge my own practice. So at no time do I want you to think that I think I'm better than you or anything like that. I made this for me, and these are all things that I want to try and improve too. Does that sound good? Are you with me? This is the National Librarian Conference? What is this? Are you with me? All right, thank you. Before we talk about what the future of phys ed is, let's talk about what I think it isn't. And you need to let me explain myself here, because some of these things might come off as a little shocking. There are 3 things that I think are not the future of phys ed. And the first thing on that list is technology. Now, before all the hardcore PE geeks in the room go and sharpen their pitchforks and come at me, let me remind you, okay, for the last couple of years, what I've been doing is I've been giving presentations like this where I've actually been traveling around meeting teachers and trying to get people really excited about the idea of using technology in their teaching. Technology can be an incredible tool to help students learn. But the thing is, as I talk about tech and as I'm trying to promote, it's about learning. It's about helping our kids learn. I realize that I do this myself. Sometimes when I'm trying to find new tech, new ways of integrating technology into my teaching, what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to find shortcuts. I'm trying to get out of some of the boring parts of teaching, like planning, assessing, and evaluating, right? You can't do that. And there's something when I was thinking, and by the way, I have a couple of these slides up here, and these are some of my main takeaways I hope that you get out of this, and these are things I tell myself all the time. There's no magic app that's going to save your teaching. If you want to be the best teacher that you can be for your students, and that's what they deserve, you need to go out there and you need to do the work. You can't just take a device, pull up a games app, and run that game in your class and call that physical education. You can't just start recording video of your kids just playing and call that learning. Again, technology is a great thing, but it's great when it has a sense of purpose and when it's tied to student learning. What technology can't be is it can't be a Band-Aid for your bad teaching practice. We need to develop good teaching practices and then bring those to the next level with technology. And that's why I think that without it being combined with anything else, just technology, just using it however we want, that's not going to help us get phys ed to the next level. That's not going to help us move into the future. And that's why I want to include on the list. Second here on the list, and this is going to sound a little crazy, is social media. Now hold the phone here for a second, all right? Before you all start getting "Joey's an idiot" trending on Twitter, let me explain myself here a bit. I've been up on this stage now. I'm so grateful that Artie's invited me to come up here, and this is my 3rd year. I've been up here twice before. And both times that I was up here, what I was doing up here is I was trying to tell everybody, you need to get on social media. You need to start connecting with people. You need to take charge of your professional development. Because the thing is that if you're using social media as a tool for professional development, where you are really using it to reflect on your teaching practice and using it to try and identify areas within your teaching that need improvement, not that you want to improve, areas that really need improvement. And then you're going out and you're trying to connect with the people, the websites, the resources, the tools that are going to allow you to do that, well, then you're nailing it, because that's the way we need to use social media. But if we start using social media just as a way to broadcast our opinions, build soapboxes for ourselves, get addicted to how many followers we have, and completely forget about what's most important, our students learning, well, then that's not good practice. I was listening to the Tim Ferriss podcast not too long ago. Anybody listen to Tim Ferriss podcast? It's amazing. It's really, really, really incredible. And he said something there, and it made me think, because I was thinking, this is what I need to think when I'm on social media. Because I need to make sure I'm challenging myself. Sometimes I need to be putting myself in situations where I'm going to be uncomfortable. And the quote he shared was that if you're always the smartest person in the conversations you're having, then you're in the wrong conversations. Okay, and that's true. If we're just on there, we're having conversations with people, and we're just all patting ourselves on the back, and we're not really challenging anything we're saying, then we're having the wrong conversations. It can be an amazing tool, and it can help us grow as educators. But unless we're using it in a way that's purposeful and meaningful, we're not going to get there, and we're not going to be able to raise the bar for phys ed. So that's why social media is on this not list. The last thing on this not list is neuroscience. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because we're all really excited about the neuroscience right now. See, in case you've been living under a rock for a little while, there is a ton of research that's coming out that's showing a direct link between physical activity, cognitive function, and even academic achievement. And don't get me wrong, that is amazing. It's so interesting that we're able to use that information and share with our students to show them, hey, there's not only physical benefits to what you're doing when you're adopting a healthy, active lifestyle, there are a lot of cognitive and emotional benefits too. But the thing is that a lot of us, and myself included, we're starting to say things like, hey, we need more phys ed because it boosts brain cells, or we need more phys ed because it's going to help our kids learn, or we need more phys ed because it's going to up our math scores. Well, I want to share something with you here and really let this sink in for a second. Our subject matter should not exist to serve as a primer for someone else's. In case we forget it sometimes, we're physical educators, and we should be damn proud of that. The work we do is essential to the healthy development of the whole child. And every child in the world deserves high-quality physical education. Thank you, yeah. The neuroscience is amazing. Okay, it's really incredible, but I'm worried that if we focus too much on that we're just focusing on, okay, well, let's get the kids moving, let's get their brains ready for everything, then we're going to lose focus on the real importance of what it is that we do. And that's why I'm just worried that if we all start jumping on the bandwagon here, and a lot of us, like I said, I understand because I'm so excited about it too, that I don't think that's how we're going to move phys ed forward. So those are the three things on what I believe are not the future of physical education. Technology, social media, and neuroscience. They can be part of it, but on their own, they won't help us get there. So now that we've talked about what the future is not, let's talk about what it is. And the first thing I want to talk about is physical literacy. Now, if 5 years ago, Alex, 5 years ago, if you came up to me and said, hey, Joey, in 5 years you're going to be on a stage telling everybody about physical literacy and how great it is, I'd call you a liar right to your face, man. And I like you, but I'd call you a liar. Okay? And that's because back then, I used to hear physical literacy being thrown around. Up in Canada, we have physical and health education in Canada as our equivalent of Shape America. And PHE Canada was just throwing physical literacy everywhere. And I was just getting really annoyed with it because I just thought it was some kind of silly buzzword that people were using to try and score more grant money. Oh, we're using literacy in there. Oh, we're going to be reading it in phys ed. And I didn't agree with it. But when I started connecting with teachers on Twitter, and connecting with really intelligent leaders and really intelligent advocates for physical literacy, I started to see, okay, wait a second, I might have been wrong about this. One person who really changed my way of thinking is Dr. Amanda Stanek, Amanda's going to be a keynote here next year. If you get to see her speak, she's incredible. Nathan and I call her a firecracker. She'll be bouncing all around everywhere you go. Physical literacy doesn't have an official poster child, but if it did, it would be Amanda Stanek, all right? She's amazing. And as I was looking at Amanda's blog posts and reading Amanda's tweets, I started to learn more about physical literacy and I started to understand. See, Amanda explains it as it's the ability to feel confident and competent in a wide variety of activities that take place in multiple environments that are going to allow individuals to engage in health-enhancing physical activity throughout their entire lifetime. That's the purpose of what we do. That's our end goal. That's what we need to be working towards. Now think about that for a second. Throughout their entire lifetime, Our job isn't just that by the end of grade 6, our students have the fundamental movement skills that they need. That's not our end goal. Our end goal isn't that by the end of high school, they've picked up the concepts, the strategies, the fitness knowledge that they need. That's not our end goal. Our end goal is that when they're in university and their buddies call them up, we're Skylar from Spikeball, and say, hey man, you want to play sports? They say yes, because they love moving. And they understand that being active is going to bring them all kinds of social and emotional benefits as well. Our end goal is that when our students are 40 years old and they have a family and they have a 9-to-5 job, they're still going running every morning before work because they know that being active on a regular basis is allowing them to be the best employee, the best parent, and most importantly, the best person that they can be. Our end goal is that when our students are 80 years old, they're still getting up in the morning, they're putting on their vintage sneakers, and they're walking down to the YMCA, and they're swimming some laps in the pool and getting out and doing some stretching. And they're doing all that because they understand that the only reason that they have lived such a long and rich life is because they took care of their bodies and their minds throughout the entire duration of it. That's our end goal. Ask yourself this question. This is a question I've been asking myself a lot now. Does your physical education program continue to serve your students long after they've graduated? Because that's what we need. We need to make sure that we're doing everything we can so that in our phys ed programs, our students are developing the skills, the knowledge, and really importantly also the values that they need to go on and develop into physically literate individuals. That's the purpose behind everything we do. And I believe that if we're able to get to a place where every physical education program in the world puts an emphasis on physical literacy and understands that physical literacy, that's what we're trying to do, that's the future of phys ed. That's where we need to go. The future of phys ed is purposeful design, or what I'm going to call here backwards design. Now, if there was a theme for my year, that theme would be backwards design. I feel like this entire year, it's all I've been talking about, it's all I've been trying to learn about. Now, I didn't really understand backwards design. When I got to St. George's School, they were all about it, and I was really confused and I was kind of lost. And it wasn't until we did this amazing full staff of professional development that it really started to click and I started to get it. See, what we did is we looked at YouTube videos. It was interviews with leaders who we think embody all of the character traits and the values that we want our graduates to embody. That they're the type of leaders that we want our graduates to eventually become. So we looked at these leaders, and what we did is we tried to deconstruct, okay, what are all the little pieces that make up these people? And then we organized all those little pieces into 3 parts. Okay? We looked at, okay, what's the knowledge that they need to have? What do they need to know to be able to make the decisions to get to where they are today? What are the understandings they had? What are those big, broad concepts that they fully grasp that allow them to thrive in their world? And what are the skills, what are the things that they needed to be able to do to make all the right decisions so that they're able to get to where they currently are? So what we did here is we were building like a scope. Okay, and then we looked at all the grades we offer at our school. And by the way, in Quebec, we only go up to grade 11. We just like being a little different that way. All right? But we go up to grade 11, and then we said, okay, let's look at all these years, and let's lay out all this content that we just identified. And see, okay, what could we teach in what year? And the reason we did that is because we told ourselves that if we went this way, if we mapped it out this way, we built up this sequence, that by the time our students graduate, they will have everything they need to eventually develop into those types of leaders. So when we did this activity, I was like, I get it now. It makes so much sense. And beginning with the end in mind like that, that's nothing new. Like, raise your hand, have you ever read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? What an amazing book, right? Like that was like life-changing when I read that the first time. And you know, Dr. Covey, he'll talk about the fact that we need to start with the end in mind. And as I started to learn about understanding by design, I was like, okay, this is starting to make sense. But I was like, how can we bring this to physical education? And I started to think about it. I was like, okay, what's the end goal here of physical education? And by now, I knew that it's physical literacy. But the thing is that physical literacy is such a big, broad concept. It's such a scary thing to think about because there's so much involved. So how can we look at physical literacy and break it down and then teach up from there? Now, I was asking myself that question, and that's when I started finding the work that Shape America has done. Now, I'm Canadian, like I don't have no affiliation with Shape America, But a couple of years ago, they released a document, the National Standards of Grade Level Outcomes, and when I was looking at this, a lot of it made a lot of sense. You know, they're talking about the goal of physical education to be developing physically literate individuals, and they were talking about, okay, here's how we can map that out. So basically what they did there is that they took this broad concept of physical literacy, and they split it up into 5 parts. And those 5 parts are what we know as the national standards. So that's why the revised national standards start off, the physically literate individual, and then it goes on. Now these national standards are massive, okay, massive. But then Shape America continues to help us out. And what they did is they took each national standard and they continued to break it down. Okay, imagine you take that standard, you smash it on the ground and it falls all into pieces. And all those little pieces, those are the grade level outcomes. And if you put them all back together, you get that standard back. So I was like, okay, this is really cool. And in Quebec, we don't have standards, we have competencies, we don't have grade level outcomes, we have progressions of learning. And I'd seen this stuff before, but where I was really challenged by was, where do I go from there? How do I keep this process going? And that was really what I was online, I was trying to learn more about it, I was trying to find. And then just by fluke, I was on Twitter one day, and there was a video by somebody by the name of Terry Drain. Is Terry here? Terry Drain's right there. All right, hold up. I want to say something, because Terry, you took the time to make that video, to record it, and to share it online. And the thing is, there's a lot of people here who are content creators within our community, and I just want you to know how important it is that you did that. Your video changed my teaching. So thank you so much, Terry, for taking the time to do that. So Terry showed me, okay, so here's where we go from there. So now you have these grade level outcomes, and what you want to do is you want to unpack it. And for some people, this might be very familiar. Other people, this might be completely new. To unpack it, what you want to do is you want to circle the verbs within the grade level outcome. And by the way, everybody will do this a little bit differently. It really depends on your own experience, your own opinions, and where you teach. And you underline the content. Now by doing that, you're creating different content blocks, okay? The verbs and the content along. So okay, I've taken that outcome, I've broken it down to content blocks. But it doesn't end there. Now you have to look at each content block, and what you want to do is you want to continue to break it down into smaller learning objectives. Okay, and you're going to do this for every content block that you're working with, all right? Now, when you start breaking everything down, you're going to see you have a lot of content hidden away there in those outcomes. And all these little learning objectives you're finding, that's your evidence of learning that you're looking for when you're teaching. And once you know what is it you're looking for, what's the evidence that you need to see to know that your students have learned, that is when you start designing learning activities. A lot of us, and myself included, there's been a lot of times where we're like, okay, well, there's this activity I want to do, what outcomes can I reach with it? And it's backwards. You have to do the other way. You start with the outcome, you decide what activity is going to create situations in which students are going to have to apply the skills, apply the concepts, apply the knowledge. And how can I even modify that activity to increase the likelihood of those situations? It's all about learning. So let's look at it globally. So you start off with this big idea of physical literacy, and you've broken it down into these national standards, and those national standards have been broken down to grade level outcomes. And then you, as a teacher, you've broken those outcomes into content blocks, you've identified the evidence, those small learning objectives, and then you design activities. Now, this is the important part. You actually have to go out and teach, but you have to teach, you have to assess, you have to provide feedback, you have to inform your students. You have to do everything you can to make sure your kids are learning. Because the thing is, they're learning and they're reaching all those objectives, then they're picking up that content. And they're picking up all that content, then they're mastering those outcomes. And if they're mastering all those outcomes, then they're showing proficiency towards that standard. And if they're showing proficiency towards that standard, then you know as an educator, you've done everything that you can do to give them everything they need to continue to develop as a physically literate individual throughout their lifetime. That's the backwards design process. Make no mistake about it. Purposeful curriculum design, and what I mean by that is that starting with the end in mind and working backwards from there and then teaching back up. Purposeful curriculum design is absolutely the key to developing physically literate individuals. That's what we need to do. But the thing is, if you look at a lot of our programs, and look at my program too, okay? You look at these programs, you see, well, where's all the backwards design happening? And you don't see it everywhere. And even me, like I'm not lying, like I don't have it all done. I'm trying to get there. But the reality is that it's really hard work. It's a ton of work to do. It's tedious, it can be frustrating, and it can take a while to get used to. But we honored a man up here on the stage the other day, Don Hellison. And I'm pretty sure everybody has seen or heard of, or at least you should really read his book, Teaching Personal and Social Responsibility Through Physical Activity. And in that book, Dr. Hellison says, right at the beginning, he says there's a question that as physical educators, we need to continue to ask ourselves. Anybody remember what that question is? The question is, what's worth doing? And that's the important question. We have to ask ourselves, what is worth doing in our practice? When we start asking ourselves that question, yeah, we'll look at design, and we might realize, yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but man, is it worth doing. And I think that a future where, or a reality where every program is backwards designed from this place of physical literacy, that is the future of physical education. Next up here on this list is assessment. Now, raise your hand if you've ever struggled with assessment in your teaching. And this isn't me modeling behavior, this is me raising my hand, all right? Assessment can be really tricky. And the thing is that we have so many kids that we need to assess. And the reality is that oftentimes we're given so little time to actually do that. And assessment just seems like this crazy task that we're not able to do. And that's why a lot of us fall back on the terrible 3, and I've been there too, where we're assessing based off of effort and participation, and whether or not the kids are dressing out in class. We've all been there. But the thing is, when you're just assessing on these things, and honestly, like when I used to do it, was so subjective too when I would do it, we're not helping them get the knowledge, we're not helping them get the skills, we're not helping them develop the values. And I'll talk to people and be like, yeah, but Joey, I've got so much heart rate monitor data, it is crazy. I can do so much of it. I was like, what are you doing? I'm seeing if my kids are participating. Well, it's great that you have that data, and it's great if you're using it in a meaningful way that's tied to your outcomes. But if you're still just assessing participation, you're still just assessing participation. When we look at this whole process here, okay, and we've broken it all down, we've identified the evidence, and then we've taught back up from there. The thing is that when we find that evidence, okay, and this is important, Terry, you taught me this. When we find that evidence, that's what we're really looking for. We need to then go out and design tools, whatever the tools may be, design tools that are going to be able to capture that evidence, all right? And once we have captured all that evidence, and we're able then to analyze it, and we're able to decide where the student's at in their learning, what's really important then is we need to communicate it with our students. And not just our students, we need to communicate with their parents. We need to let people know what's happening in phys ed, how students are learning, and where they're at. Now, when I was flying down here, and I swear Amanda's not paying me to talk about her up here, all right? But when I was flying down, she wrote another great blog post on standards-based instruction, and she was talking about this idea of assessment and how vital assessment is to the entire learning process, okay? And you really should check out her site, movelive.learn.com. It's an incredible website, and she just brings so much value to all the conversation we're having online. But as I was reading, I was like, you know, that's so true. And I started thinking, assessment really, it should always be tied and relevant to clear learning objectives, so directly related to those learning objectives you're looking for, but most importantly, it has to inform students on their learning progress in an ongoing fashion. It has to be an ongoing thing. Think of it this way. Let's say you have a map, okay, and you're telling your students, okay, here's the map, here's where you need to be, that's your objective, here's where you are, go. And then you don't provide them anything else. And then at the end of the activity, you're like, well, you didn't get there, sorry. The thing is, you're going to get a ton of kids. You might get some kids that are going to make it there. But you're going to get a ton of kids that are going to get lost in the woods. We need to assess our students in an ongoing fashion, and we need to be able to use that assessment to be able to provide them feedback to help guide them along the way. Because if we're there guiding them along the way every step, we're going to be able to get them to that place of learning. We're going to be able to get them to master that. Now, again, this is not easy work. It's time-consuming, it's frustrating, and it can be difficult. But it's definitely work worth doing. And I hope there's such a broad amount of talent in here of PE geeks who have this incredible amount of knowledge when it comes to how you can use assessment to facilitate, or use technology to facilitate assessment in your teaching. I hope you've picked up some tricks along the way here that might help you with that. Because again, if we can get to a place where every teacher who's teaching children physical education, that they're assessing their students and informing them in an ongoing way, then that is the future of physical education. Now, last here on the list is passionate educators. That's all of you. There has never been a better time to discover and develop your passion as a physical education teacher. Between the internet and social media, you can go out and connect with anyone in the world, get any information you need, find the resources you need, and really do everything you can to be the best teacher you can be. Think about it. Seriously, really think about it here. There is nothing stopping you from being the teacher you've always wanted to be. There's an expression that I love, and it's bootstrapping. And if you're unfamiliar with the idea of bootstrapping, it comes, if I'm not mistaken, it comes from a story where a man was traveling on a horse and he fell into a pit of mud or something, and he was stuck in the mud. And the way he got out is he picked himself up by the straps of his own boots and hauled himself out. All right, and when you're talking about in the startup world, they'll say, oh, I'm bootstrapping my startup. It means I'm trying to do it without any external help. That's what we need to do. We need to pick ourselves up by the straps of our own boots, and we need to go out and get the professional development we need to be the best teachers. So let's do that. Let's bootstrap our own PD. Let's go out there, let's throw all excuses out the window. Oh, I don't have time, oh, I don't have money, oh, my school doesn't support me. Throw that out the window. Do the work it needs to do, and be the best physical educators we can be. Right? I spend a lot of time online. You ask my fiance, she'll tell you I spend way too much time online. And people will be like, Joey, why are you doing it? What's your reason? Well, here's the thing. I'm being very honest here. I don't have one reason why I do it. I have about 168 reasons why I do it. This is why I do everything I do online. These are the kids that deserve the best experience. They deserve me to be at my best for them. So the future of phys ed, beginning with the end in mind, physical literacy, getting everybody to adopt a healthy, active lifestyle. Purposeful curriculum design, working backwards and then teaching back up. Assessment, making sure that we're letting kids know where they're at in their learning, and not only letting them know, but letting us know so that we can guide them along the way and create situations where they'll learn. And excellent teachers. Does any of this seem new to you? This isn't new stuff. This is good teaching practices that have been around forever. And that's why I'm going to end here. And I want to say that the future of phys ed is phys ed. Let's stop trying to call it by different names. Let's stop trying to add bells and whistles to it. Let's get back to the fundamentals of what we know makes for effective physical education, and let's be excellent at it. Everybody, I would love to stay here and keep talking with you, but there is a very beautiful, very patient lady waiting for me back home who I get to marry in 4 days. So I gotta go. Thank you all so much. Travel safe and have a great school year. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is that okay?
Exactly like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. Is this on? Yes, it is. I'd like to bring back on stage the keynoters that are available. So Andy, Nathan, Jared, would you please come forward, please? Jockey for position. Is Scotty still here? I don't know if he's still here. Scotty Robinson? Come down here, sir. We brought Scotty on the stage before. He's been a good friend of mine. We met in Texas and started talking about stuff. And we're going to present to each of you Scotty's handiwork. But before we do, I'll just share a little bit about the tradition. And, you know, not everyone can make those, right? Can't do it. You have to be authorized, and just share a little bit.
Okay. Well, thank you, Artie, first for putting on this conference. It's been incredible. And These ball sticks, I've been sharing with many people as they go by that I'm blessed to have been taught to make them. It was something, I grew up disconnected from my culture. I was a military brat. And when I moved to Cherokee, North Carolina, I went to Western Carolina University, met all these wonderful people in this part of North Carolina that kind of molded me, rewired my brain about how I felt about physical activity in children and physical education. And started connecting to the Cherokee culture. When I moved home, started reconnecting with my culture, the Muskogee Creek Nation, Seminole Nation. And one of the first things that I reconnected with was a game of stickball through my work. And I remember growing up watching the stickball players play at different festivals, reading about them. My grandfather sitting telling me stories for hours about stickball games long ago. And I thought that's what I wanted to be. Didn't really want to care about basketball, baseball. I played all of them, but I wanted to be that stickball player. And then I had the chance to make them. It is something that it's difficult work. It takes weeks to make some of these sticks. If I put them all, if I just sit down and from beginning to end, maybe 5 hours. But you start off by cutting a tree. That's the toughest part. The guy that taught me said, "You're not tough enough." And I aggravated him for 3 months. And he finally said, "Okay, meet me in Okemah, where I live, Saturday. And we're going to go cut down some trees. And I'm going to show you what's involved with making these." And we cut down several hickory trees. They 8-foot sections. They weighed probably 400 pounds apiece. And we had to flip them end over end, back up a hill about, 800 yards to the truck. After the first one, I was shaking so bad I could barely climb back down the hill to get the next one. But after getting 6 of those out of the woods that day, I understood what he was talking about. So many people just think these sticks just appear, and I had a lot more appreciation for it. I was not allowed to sell any sticks. He wouldn't let me, my teacher, for a long time. He said it's all about giving back. In our culture, it's not about how much you have, it's how much you can give people. And I probably give away 10 to 1 of these sticks over the years. And it's one of those things that there's not many stick makers left, so I'm proud to be one of those. Hope to pass it on to my grandsons, my nephew. And so our traditions and our way of life continues. And because once this is gone, once our language is gone, our tribe is gone. So I'm very thankful to be able to share these with people. And if you're ever interested in getting a set for your school, Sport Time tried to make plastic versions of them. My tribe said, absolutely not. This is not a thing that we're going to be selling and made in plastic. This is our game. This is our tradition. This is part of our culture. And people want sticks, and you have to make them the old way, the hard way. So if you're interested in something like that, let me know. My email is scott@nativeplay.com. And I can get you hooked up. I have some guys that help me make sticks too, so we can make sets for people. But it's not something that takes months. It's not something we can make over, if you say I need a set in 2 weeks, it might take 2-3 months to do it. But I'm glad to be able to share these. I did not do the beadwork. A guy named Bill Harjo, a full-blooded Creek Indian from Henrietta, Oklahoma, did the beadwork. And we never exchange money. It's always, you give me a set, I'll beat a set for you. And so he uses my sticks for other things in his artwork. So, and I really don't know what else to share. I'll give it back to Artie, but I do want to present these sticks to a couple of special people before we're done, okay?
Yeah, do it now.
Okay, all right. Well, first, when I came to North Carolina, I was a lost young boy. Went to Western Carolina University, did my student teaching at Fairview Elementary in Sylva, North Carolina. Dennis Prophet changed my life, rewired my brain, taught me what it meant to teach children through physical education. This man right here, Larry McDonald, come on up here, Larry. That's good.
I wish I could do that. Well, I'm going to tell Dennis what you said. He appreciate it.
This man taught Coach Prophet about physical education, and Coach Prophet taught me, and he's always been a big encouragement to me every time he sees me. He just encourages me, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing for those Native kids in Oklahoma. And so I want to present him with this pair of hickory sticks. And also a ball. You can't play without a ball, so there you get a ball too. Thank you, Larry. And the other person, of course, is Artie. When I first went to my first North Carolina PE convention with Coach Profit, he took me and took me down to the Great Activities booth and said, "You need to meet Artie Camilla." And I said, "I think I know you already. I have your book." And I bought his teaching elementary physical education book. Had been using it already in my student teaching experience. And every time I've seen Artie, he's always like, "Scotty, tell me what you're doing." He's always interested in what I'm doing. He doesn't really tell, he's doing all kinds of stuff. It's never like, "Let me tell you what I'm doing, Scott. Tell me what you're doing." He always takes the time to encourage me. Both of us from an ethnic background, and it makes me feel good to know that, in this country, we have so many great people, great minds that come from our different ethnicities in this country. And so I always had this connection with Artie. I always wanted to talk to him. I always wanted to kind of pick his brain whenever I was around him, and he was always gracious enough to do that. So I wanted to give these to him just to show him how much I appreciate everything he's done for me. Thank you. You have to have the ball too. There you go. All right, I'll quit talking.
Thank you. Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming, Joey. Thank you for coming, Andy. Thank you for coming, Nathan. Thank you for coming, Jared. We have these small, this is for Joey, this is for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. Give him a big round of applause. And then Andy. Is there somewhere? Andy, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Nathan Horn, Singapore. Newly married. Thanks. Thank you. Jared Robinson. Thank you for coming. And each of you has a copy of this book, which is entitled Everyday Greatness. I've inscribed something, and thank you very much for coming. And I hope whenever you get the opportunity to read that book, it'll be meaningful to you. Thank you. I'd like to call two other people. What? Whose last name? Dottie? Scotty. What's his last name? Robison. R-O-B-I-S-O-N. You doing a tweet out? Okay. R-O-B-I-S-I-N, I believe. Anyway. Eva, would you please come forward? And Mac, would you please come forward? And you're going to have to get on the stage. I'm sorry. You can do it. Come up on the stage. You can do it. So hidden behind Dr. George Graham's shoes are two more little things. So I'll give this to Mac first. You could do it. Presented to Larry Mac McDonald for outstanding support of the 2015 National PE Institute. Love you.
Oh, I love you. I love you.
And those of you that don't know, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I love Mac. And without Mac's friendship and encouragement and humor, I wouldn't be here. I mean, he's just a phenomenal individual. Eva has done so much for this conference. She works behind the scenes. She's the communications director for the North Carolina Center for Health and Wellness. She's been doing the Twitter help desk. She's been coordinating stuff with our fellows. If I could read this. Presented to Eva Bland for outstanding support of the 2015 National PE Institute. There you go. You're welcome. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yes, the interns too. And you all stood up. Let's stand up again. All the interns, would you please stand up? And turn around, take a bow. Thank you. John, Emma, etc. Thank you very much. If you look on the back of your program, you'll see printed the 5 individuals that will be our 2016 National PE Institute presenters. Joe Bailey from Wisconsin. Joe still here? Where's Joe? Please stand up. Joe Bailey from Wisconsin. Naomi Hartle from Spark, Oregon. Dr. Martha James Hassan from Maryland. She is not here, but she's phenomenal. Joey Feith from Canada. And Dr. Amanda Stenik from Missouri. She is not here, but those are the 5 keynoters. And just because, I would like to announce that Team Phys-Edagogy, Adam, your crew, would you please stand up? This group right here, turn and face the audience. This group right here will be your 2017 National PE Institute keynoters. So, Kalima, let's put on this music. Where are you? Okay, who are we and what are we? We're family. You do not have to be a resident of North Carolina to be a part of our family. You do not need to be a resident of the United States of America to be a part of our family. We're family. And so, would you hit the music and everyone stand up? This will be our little closing before our raffle. Little closing. Would you please thank a member of your family for coming? Give them a high five, a hug, all the way around. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister, for coming. If you're here for the first time, give yourself a shout out. Woo! If you've been here more than once, give yourself a shout out. Woo! If you're from anywhere in the world other than North Carolina, give yourself a shout out. If you came by yourself, give yourself a shout out. Woo! If you think you might be coming back next year, give yourself a shout out. If you love physical education, give yourself a hug, 2 claps, 1 stop, and a seal of approval. And give 2 other people 2 good hugs. And please sit down. Or 3 people, or 4 people, or 5 people. Thank you, Kalima. Thank you. Woo! Okay, Thank you. So So thank you very much for coming. We do have a few gifts to give away. The first name that will be drawn will be the winner of the huge $4,000 plus rail yard fitness course. And it's, wait, don't tell me. It's what? Ty. I knew it. Ty, please come up. Please come forward, come around. Okay, Ty, all the way from China. Going to come. Let me stir this around, stir it around. Make sure we have, everyone gets an equal opportunity. And you're going to reach down in here, above your head. Grab a name, any name. Just pick one. You got one? Okay, open it up, see who it is. Cynthia Johnson, Minnesota. Okay. But before you leave, we need to get your contact information. So come up here. Okay, thank you. We'll put this right here. We also have, do a redraw. We also have another great gift worth $3,250. First Tee School Kit. First Tee is helps kids to really learn and appreciate the sport of golf. So $3,200, and I'm gonna put this high above my head. Twist this all around. Okay, ready? Grab one. You could, okay, open that one up. Who is it? Mary Dickens from Iowa. Stand up, stand up, stand up. So, Mary, would you please come down after this is done as well? We do have two last gifts from Flag House, $25 gift certificates. And would you grab one and then grab another one? That's one, and grab another one. What does that say? Andy Vasily? No, we can't do that. Okay, let's see who this is. So this is Amanda Stallnacker from Kentucky. Okay, that's her right there, right back there. Amanda, and I'm just going to say Mary from Canada. Mary from Canada, you know who you are. Cool. Thank you. Oh, are there other Mary? Okay, sorry. May need a recount. So, Antico. That's you! I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, Mary number one. I'm sorry. Okay, well, it was... Well, where's this more stuff? Where is it? Well, you need to bring it forward here. Well, bring it on. Hey, I need some helpers. Why don't you guys go? Need some help. Grab all that stuff from Gopher Sports. Hey, this is too much. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's the second one. Sure, it's the second one. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Gopher Sports. Look, we got all this stuff. Why don't you, we'll just bring it up here. We'll just go ahead and do it. Let's just, okay. There's a lot of stuff. We'll just lay it out here. Okay, here's the next one, number one. Here's the next one, number two. Here's the next one, number 3. Here's the next one, number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. We're going to put all these together. Hope you have enough room. Okay. So here's the set. Here's the set right here. There's a set right there. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 9, 10, 11. Your choice. Your choice. Your choice. Wait a minute, you look like your brother. Pick a name. Your choice. You got 10 seconds though, once you... Dr. Patricia Smith, please come down. We're going to give her 1 minute to kind of pick and choose. 1 minute. Grab it and put your mark on it. You got your eye on it? You think you know what you want? You want this right here. Okay, you got it. Take it. It's a sit and reach box. Okay, cool. Next. Sean Morris, Ohio, Shaker High School, City Schools. Must be present to win. Sean Morris, sorry, must be present to win. Too late. Grab another one. David Nospich, Illinois, Kinninicki School District. Dave. And I apologize. I can't. Okay, I need a translator. Hey, pick one, quick. You got 1 minute. Well, grab it. Okay. Next. Jonathan Jones, Maryland. It's going to be kind of hard to ship all this stuff back to Maryland, but I'm sure you could do it. Oh, you drove. Well, then you can get anything you want. It's that. While he's checking it out, let's draw another name. Crystal. Fix. Grab something, Crystal. Another name. Kai Hardison, Kentucky. Oh, K Hardison, not Kai, K Hardison. I can't read. Came through LA Public Schools. Woo! Got it. Several more. Jimmy Wright, I could read that. South Carolina. And take your time, as Jimmy is coming down, would you grab another one, please? Renee Livingston, Florida, Jacksonville. She here? Okay. Need to come on down and pick something. Okay, what do you want? Green bag. Green bag. Cool. Okay, so this is off the table. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. So see Jeremy. Grab one more. Laura Brickhouse, Pitt County Schools, North Carolina. Must be present. Must be present. Okay. Grab another one. Well, we'll take 2. That's fine. We'll take the 2. Adam Metcalf, Illinois. Adam Metcalf, Illinois. Okay, don't fall down, Adam. Kelly Cole from Minnesota. Adam, you get to pick first of what's left, and then Kelly. Footballs? Okay. And then Kelly. Okay. Again, I just don't know. Okay. Oh. What? Yeah, Kelly. Yeah. Okay. 2 more. 2 more. Melissa Shirley, Gwinnett County Public Schools, Georgia. What do you think you want? You want, well, let's let her come down, because don't trip, please. Do not trip. Oh, Skylar. You want that? Grab it. You got it. Okay. 2 more. Molly Pickering, Tennessee. It's kind of hard because you got this, and you want the smaller one, the bigger one. Probably want those, but I don't know how you're going to get them back. Okay. That's the push-up. I think it's a push-up counter. Okay. One last thing. Okay, thank you very much. We got these left. These left. The last. You want? He said, "I'll take them. I'll take them." Or you can take them. Okay, ready? Grab. Okay, grab a nice one. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Doug Halberg, New York. I don't know. Doug here, I don't know if it's going to work. Must be present to win. One more time. Yep. Hey, Doug, you could have won. Just pick one. That one. And the last winner, Lloyd Verm, Minnesota. If he's here, Lloyd. I don't know how you're going to get him back on the plane, but you'll make it work? Okay, you'll make it work. Stillwater Public Schools. These are yours. How you're going to get them back, I don't know. But thank you very much. And we still have the Flag House $25. Did I give these away? I did. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't beat me up. Anyone else like to say anything? I know you're ready to leave. So what we have, when you leave and you go out, you'll get a certificate, and why don't we play the "We Are Family" song as they leave? Kalima, if you could, I don't know if there's possible, play "We Are Family," and